In the Blaine County School Board. We have a quorum, and I'd like to thank everybody. Just for clarification, masks will be required unless you're speaking. So, with that, if Philip, if you could do the invocation.
Lord, we thank you for today, for all your mighty blessings upon us. God, we ask, Lord, for prayer for those that are sick and afflicted in our community and distant friends and family far off. God, we ask, Lord, that you'd bring consolation to those families that have loved ones that have passed. And God, we ask, Lord, that you give us direction tonight. Lord, as we do the business of educating our children here in Blaine County, God, we ask for your wisdom. Lord, we ask that you would bless our teachers, our students, other staff, and faculty members. Lord God, bless our parents. Lord God, as we do our best to raise our children, Lord, that our quivers may be full of arrows, God, to go out and serve you in this world. Lord, we love you tonight. We give you praise. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Any modifications to the agenda?
We did have the one modification that we needed to make
Amend the agenda.
to amend the agenda. To make item G, to approve pay scales for administrative assistant and facilities manager. So that would shove personnel recommendations to H and employee sick leave donation requests to I.
Okay, if I could have a second?
I'll second that.
Mr. Petrie?
4.
Mr. Bailey?
4.
Ms. Peckett?
4.
Mr. Shippers?
For any modification to the minutes of the November 9th regular meeting?
Make a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second.
Mr. Petrie?
4.
Mr. Bailey?
4.
Ms. Peckett?
4.
Mr. Shippers?
For enrollment, for November was 708. Of that, 43 were out-of-district virtual students. So that left us with, 665? Which is one more than we had last year, which was at 664. So we have 35 students that come here from outside the county and participate in our school system. And we currently have 17, let's see, in stride. We have 17 on Ingenuity and 15 on Stride in virtual students. So we're holding our own, which is a good thing. Financial reports. Financial reports look well. Like I say, I think it's stated at the last meeting, we get our funds from 40 different sources. The funds are coming in as expected. The only one we're behind on is the COVID relief fund, and that's just a timing issue. And with that, everything looks good. As far as expenditures, they also look good. We have extra expenditures in 3 places: technology, nursing and medical, and O&M, and all of those are part of the COVID relief money, that when they come in, they'll be moved to a different section. Right now, they're sitting in the normal budget. So all of that is looking very good, and we are applying for some additional money, hopefully to be able to do some upgrades at the high school once we find out if it comes through for us. Okay, with that, we move to updates, the principals.
Good evening, greetings from Bland Elementary School. As you mentioned, our current attendance, 345, which is one down from where we were this time last month. Current attendance trends, as always, I like color. You can see the zigzags match for where we've been in previous years.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. You kind gentlemen.
We are green on this map for this chart for this year. You'll see that the two previous years kind of look very similar. And then we did have a dip here about 3 weeks ago when we initially started just to get back into the regular cold and flu season. Parents have done an excellent job of continuing to communicate with us. We did send out one additional reminder that we would like to know if there were COVID testing or quarantines or exposure involved with that, just so we can keep transparency with the rest of the parents in the division. And we did actually have to quarantine a class due to exposure. Health department had continued concerns, just even with the social distancing and masks that take place, because we still are eating lunches and their extended times. But that only extended to one classroom, not an entire grade level. So currently we have 26 students. All of those were not in that one class who are currently with a COVID-related absence. Of those 26, one of them is COVID positive. And I have one faculty member currently out this week. So that kind of puts us where we are with those numbers and how attendance is affected by.
Is that with just quarantine, or is that with the positive?
That's a positive case as well for the faculty member. Not work-related, but
Right.
it affects work. So we have currently 17 students in the Region 7 Virtual Academy. We are looking at 15 students next semester, so we're actually getting an influx coming back into us. More coming back in than are moving back into the virtual setting. So that's been kind of nice to get those faces back. There's actually some students I've never met who will be returning to us after a year and a half in the division. Have never met these students. So I'm pretty excited about that. CIP benchmark testing is currently taking place. We're about 2/3 of the way through that. We actually requested to extend that window because of how it affected some of those students on quarantine. Working with CIP and Ms. Radford, we got that extended until January 6th. Any student we can test, we're gonna go ahead and do that before break, but we'd still like to have the data, see where we are afterwards, so at least get that assessment piece taken care of after break. Holiday concerts have been posted via Dojo. We did understand that the high school was able to do that face-to-face, and we weren't able to do about face that quickly to get everybody back in, because I think our numbers would be much higher. We would almost have to break those into 3 concerts for social distancing reasons. And I think I almost gave Mr. Altizer a stroke when I suggested that, right after Thanksgiving. So we still did the virtual piece with that. Hopefully next year things will be back to normal, and we can go from there. And first semester is wrapping up very quickly with 2.5 days left. Thank you for the upcoming breakfast on Thursday. We're looking forward to that. I'm gonna pump gravy into everybody and see if I can keep them awake all day. And then we have a whole bunch of PD planned for January 3rd, the day we come back for the teacher workday. We have a discovery science piece that's K through 6th grade. We're working with about at least 10 people from the elementary and possibly 10 from the high school, which our own teachers will be doing a training for behavior de-escalation and possible state-approved restraint training, which is important to have so you know when and when not to use that. So that's an exciting piece to be able to get in place. Grade cards will go home January 6th, and PALS testing will be us when we return as well. So it will come back in January and do as many assessments as we're doing right before the break as well too. The key situation, we were able to find 3 contractors that we could work with. So we got a no response, an absolute no, and a no-show.
Wow.
But the no-show did reschedule.
Okay.
They had a bit of an emergency with their company because that's the kind of work they do. Somebody got locked out of their whole building, I guess. So they didn't show up with us. They should actually be back tomorrow morning. And so we have a hierarchy of what we're thinking, but hopefully they'll have better ideas than we will. And we can kind of work through it from there. So actually, a lot more companies, some that weren't even in business anymore in the catalog, so what we were looking through. But we
I'm
did get a
really-
bite.
I'm getting to be greater concerned about the security of your building. In interaction this past weekend, of people that just come in that have keys and so forth.
Oh, yeah, it's unreal. It's been
And,
like that for years.
I think this is something that we need to escalate as soon as we can work with
Yeah,
somebody.
and not during the school day piece, let me clarify that. That was somebody who.
Yeah, exactly. It was not during
Apparently a
school day.
community member who had a key and decided to come in, and the custodians pretty much ambushed them.
And we appreciate that.
Yeah, and so did I.
They
Yes.
were really taking it.
Not to get the community on the idea that there was
No.
something during the school day. It was
No,
much,
no, no, no.
much
Yeah.
definitely after hours, but
Yeah.
yeah, they jumped on that very
But
quick.
still.
Yeah, yes, absolutely. So yeah, it's not just interior doors, but it's exterior doors as well. So I completely understand that. That's why we were actually making that call. It was kind of odd because we've been talking about this and making the calls well before that situation took place. So our deputy was a little, his blood pressure was a little high yesterday as he was reviewing some pieces. And we know the family that we're gonna reach out to there.
Sure.
And take care of that piece, so, yeah. Interesting how quickly that spreads, huh?
Yes.
So, and that's where we are. Any questions right now?
How clean's your building?
We're doing well. We have good communication with our folks, and I say well, we're not perfect. There are good days and bad days. I still feel a little bad for my day shift at times, because I know it's kind of a demotivational piece when they come in and things aren't taken care of the way they expect them, so they can do their job. When you have 400 people in the building, adults and students, it's hard to stay on top of everything the way we have it scheduled, because you're dealing with immediate needs, when the night folks don't take care of it as well. But, you know, it's works through. Having a liaison to help us with that would be beneficial, and I think that's been addressed. So we can kind of move in from there, because I know I've got good people. It's just proper training and proper expectations. Sure. So we can get there. So. All right, thank you.
Thanks,
Thank
Mike.
you.
Thanks, Mike.
The man with the rocket.
Rocket Man.
Blue Rocket?
Mr. Estes.
Can't even spell my own name right. As beautiful as that rocket is, it was an utter disappointment. But we'll get to that.
At least you could find yours. Mine's
At least
gone.
I was there.
Yeah.
You know, we'll take it.
I understand Scott's was real easy to find.
Yes, it
It
was.
reminded you of a New York jet. It just didn't take off.
All right, somebody's going to fill me in on all the story.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
There'll probably be a video.
All right,
Oh, there's video. Okay, well,
Okay.
there's video.
all right.
Referred to as the fizzle.
The fizzle,
Oh, okay.
the rizzle.
Beat Lenore. That's it.
I beat Lenore. Homeland Security was called in,
Oh, my gosh.
sabotage.
It was sabotage. Collusion.
Yeah.
Collusion.
Good evening. Hope everybody's doing okay, staying well. It's getting cold, so hopefully everybody's house is where it needs to be and warm and enjoying that. And educational performance, touched on attendance, enrollment's 371 here at the high school. From a COVID view, we just had an uptick in our quarantines. We've got 16 kids that are quarantined. I've got one student who is positive, and as of yesterday, I've got one staff member who is positive. In that quarantine number is our JV girls basketball team, so that's what shot it up to that high number, or higher number than what we were used to seeing here for the past couple of weeks. We're extremely lucky. But those students are doing okay. We've got, like Mr. Grimm said, we've got the benchmarks extended into January to accommodate those kids that aren't going to be here. And you can't really take those things at home. So they'll have an ample opportunity to do that when they get back, and relieve that stress off them. A lot of them were extremely nervous about leaving. Rightfully so. I would be too. Speaking of benchmarks, we've had some hiccups on Mastery Connects. That's not just us. That's, I think, every school in the region. We've got things that aren't working properly on that system. So we're navigating that and doing the best we can with that. John Hagan's been instrumental in helping us with our immediate needs that we need with IT department, of course Denise, but John's doing an excellent job for that. Some key events. If you've been in the high school, you see it's a winter wonderland, and Building B and both Building A, the kids and the teachers, but mainly the kids took a lot of responsibility in making that hall and our building something that they want to go into, and made it really nice. They did a great job. Mr. Butcher came by today and got to see it, and I think it was the latter end of it. We weren't as festive today, but it's the last week. We're tired.
Yeah.
It looked really nice.
Yeah.
I was really
It does.
impressed. Mr. Eastep almost had to duck his head going down the hallway.
It
He had
is.
so much stuff.
It's a lot of stuff. We had a competition amongst the teachers for best dressed door, so to speak. They all decorated their doors. Kirby Mustard came in first, Mr. Showery second, and Miss Julie Bailey got third. I thought our door was the best, but
The office
it's apparently not top three. That's okay. Some sports updates. Chessie Tyndall finished 20th in the state in the girls 500 meter race and cross country. She did an excellent job, and we're super proud of her. The Rocket team, the newest member, I think, of that, Miss Cole, roped me into that, and I'm so glad she did. Unfortunately, I think Mr. Mead and my Rocket here, and I didn't paint this thing, but I built it. And this is dead last,
Nah.
second to last, and there's dead last. It wasn't for lack of effort, I can tell you that. Okay? Apparently mine didn't even smoke, so whatever. That's okay. Mr. Bailey was there, he saw the effort.
Yep.
And thanks to Miss Sexton and Miss Trail for being a part of that. We had about 8 to 10 kids that got to do it. I mean,
Good
more
time.
kids need to do it.
Yep.
Yes.
It's sweet. This is a huge shout out to Miss Cole, Mr. Cole, he was there as well. Miss Cole sat with me, knee to knee, building mine. I think I only went through 2 of them, so don't use super glue if you do. Moving on, Miss Hodock tested all the 10th graders for the ASVAB testing. It's the first time we've got to be able to do that with the whole group. So she did that, and we're super thankful for her for that. Moving into VOTEC, our kids that are in the manufacturing section of vocational school will get, we just spoke with Ms. Radford about it today, they're going to get OSHA trained for free. And we'll do that there at the school, so they'll have that certification under their belt as they move forward, which is pretty cool. A lot of people don't leave with any kind of certification, so we're excited that they're able to do that. Excuse me. More sports stuff, of course, middle school basketball. Coach Bright, Katie Bright, and Coach John Hagan, they just finished their season last Friday. We ran into part of that quarantine that ended the girls a little bit sooner. The boys got to play one more game. Both teams were extremely competitive. That girls squad moving up is going to be really good. So are our boys, but the girls really impressed me this year with their effort, and along with the boys, they won 7 games, I believe, this year. And when I coached them, we went 0-14, so he's doing so good. Okay. So we'll take that definitely. Of course, JV and varsity basketball's underway. We've been playing some regular season games, playing the Christmas tournament in Ayers. These guys are competitive and they're hungry. I'm impressed for what I see. Coach Mao and Coach Lambert are doing an excellent job. We're super proud of those girls and guys. Mac's going to be starting up here soon. Miss Sexton and her coaches are working out the dates, and we're organizing travel. We've got about right under 30 kids that are going to be competing in MAC, which is pretty cool. We've got a bunch of young kids coming in and some new kids, but they'll be fine, and they'll get the experience they need. So we've got some older ones that can really show them the way. So we're excited about that. Miss Hall's started her forensics practices. She's our new forensics sponsor. So we plan to be competitive in that immediately, because that's the standard in forensics in Blaine County. So, and she's aware of that, and we've been with Miss Carter, and they've been kind of helping each other, helping Brooke get along, or Miss Hall get along. So we plan to be competitive immediately in that. We hope so.
So has that all been opened up now with the COVID going on?
Say it again, sir.
Has that been opened up for them to be able to travel and
Yes,
and
yes,
compete?
they're able to compete at each other's places, and there are some limitations to how many can be in the rooms and so forth, but we can travel and compete at this time.
Okay.
And also with MAC, last year was virtual.
Yeah.
Tell me how we did that, I don't
I don't
know,
either.
but
Yeah.
Ashley knows. It was hard, and to be honest with you, I don't know if it was a true assessment of what our kids know, but we did it anyway, and we moved on. We're back to normal now, so we'll keep moving. Our Christmas concert was supposed to be Thursday, but we've got some kids in quarantine, and Coach Purdue, or Mr. Purdue, isn't fully comfortable in doing that Thursday, so we moved it to when we come back in January. It'll be the 13th. I believe it's the second Thursday there in January, so he's super stoked about that. That's the first time his kids are going to be able to perform for our county in 2 years. And you guys know what our band does. They kill it.
Great things.
They kill
Would you
it.
say the 13th?
13th, Thursday in January,
What time?
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock?
It'll be live streamed as well, but be there. Some plans moving forward. Of course, academically, we're going to keep pushing our tutors, and those tutors have been rock solid. I'm sure Miss Radford could speak on them a little bit better than I can, but Miss Ingram and Doc Willis, they've really helped our kids that have been coming back from quarantine in math and English. That's been a huge help. We've got a lot of kids that get behind for XYZ reason. They keep them on task, on time. We're getting assignments turned in. That was a big hurdle that we couldn't get over. It felt like last year into this year. And they've really demanded a lot out of these kids, and they know the content. And they're a pleasure to be around. The kids like them. And you guys know what it's like to be in a school. If the kids don't like you, it's hard to get them. So they,
Right.
they enjoy those people, and we enjoy them, and we're glad to have them. Athletically, the plan is to continue to push to move into the Pioneer District, which is more of a, I guess, northeastern district. People that are in that district, Covington, which won't be a school, but Narrows, Eastmont, that group. We've got permission from the MED. We had permission 2 years ago when we tried to get into the HOGO, but we're really only waiting on the Pioneer to get us the green light on that. They've got some hesitancies over travel, but there's not much difference in Paramount-McClure coming to Narrows and Paramount-McClure coming to Bland. So
Yeah.
I'll leave it at that. We hope to do that. I think we'll become immediately competitive in all sports across the board in every regular season, and I think that's what we need to, that's the goal, be competitive. And I think that district offers us a little bit more competitiveness, so we'll see what happens there. That could happen as early as next school year, so stay tuned for that. Of course, still under athletics, hope to hire an athletic director and a varsity football coach. We just posted that last week. So hopefully we get some applicants in here that we feel strongly about and can help take our program onward, and we're excited about that. Some more extracurricular stuff, prom. It's set for April 23rd at Fincastle Country Club in Bluefield. Apparently we got a great deal out there, and if you guys have ever been out there, it's a wonderful facility, beautiful golf course. And Miss Trail and Miss Bailey Julie Bailey have been leading that up. If you ever dealt with prom, it's a monster. So we kudos to them, and we appreciate them being able to do that. Board help. I've been trying to think of ways that we can make this athletic director position a little bit more enticing, and I'm running into some walls. But one of my suggestions is to make it a little bit more financially pleasing, so to speak, so we can get a qualified candidate in here. I know we didn't wrap it into the football position, which I can understand that, but if we can do something to get a little bit more interest in that, that would help me out. And Curly, if you're listening, he does a lot for it. It would help us out a ton, and hopefully our athletics programs will benefit from having someone whose focus is that. So that's just a suggestion. I'm not saying anything in stone. I'm just making a comment. I'll echo what Mr. Grimm said about cleaning services. It's good and bad sometimes. I think a lot of what he says about the daytime custodial shift is true. You feel bad some days because they're working their tail off to make up for some differences that weren't done in the evening. But it's getting better. It's not perfect. Carol Weichel emailed me today, said the Melton Home Center hadn't been touched in almost a month. So that's frustrating, but we'll deal with it as it comes. Our science lab struggles to be up to par for the next day. A lot of things go on in a science lab. And you got to have an extra an extra mop in there, to get ready for the next day. And some days, not every day, but some days it's not up to par. So we're continue working with that, and, we speak with Sharon and John Dale and just keep trying to move forward and do it better, you know? We're not gonna complain about it, but we wanna do better, so.
No, I don't think
maintenance-
you have to do better. It's them that has to do better. I don't think
Well-
there's, that you have to, you don't have to include yourself in the we.
I got you. Maintenance orders, those are being done pretty quick. We had an example today of one that hadn't been done, but, we're working on getting those complete. I'll say maintenance orders are pretty well done the same day, except for one or two that we're still trying to do. So, we're okay. Teachers okay, kids are fine, I think. Y'all good? We're good.
Got a generator down now.
We got hot water
Hot
in the
water
kitchen.
Generators, I think, can't be repaired, so we're gonna take some quotes on that.
That big one out back?
Everything's old,
Ugh, okay.
old.
To run the freezer and stuff? What do you need size-wise?
I have no clue.
Kilowatt?
That's a good question, because we're checking in what we're gonna need just to run this. freezer.
Just know it's big.
Correct me if I'm wrong, you've been here forever. But, that generator.
That hurts.
is
I'm right there with
built
you, Dwayne.
and equipped to run the school in case it was going to be used as a fallout
Yeah.
shelter. So
It's
it
the
may
big
not- It may not
It shouldn't need that. You're not, you're not talking a whole
Well,
lot.
I think
there.
all you're looking at is refrigeration, but I'm not sure when they moved that outdoor freezer or the walk-in freezer that they wired it into the right
Yeah.
box that the generator even
Oh,
covered.
okay,
So
yeah.
so it's probably gonna need some, electrical evaluation, and then you can size the generator.
Yeah.
It's a three-phase generator.
Okay.
That's all from me. If you have any questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Tate?
Evening. Just working more on Chromebooks. We do Chromebooks about every day. Jonathan and Mike do. They will get 2 or 3 a day, not necessarily replacing a whole, like a screen or anything, but keys are sticking or something like that. So they're constantly on top of the Chromebooks, which has been a tremendous help for me. I purchased 2 new small PCs for the doors at the high school and at the elementary to hold the software. The PC that we had them on was too old, and that was part of the issues with the doors, was the software itself. They're better, but not great. They're the doors is probably the biggest issue. The sign at the high school is up now, and it's working. The control board wasn't sending any power to the LED pixels, so Cirrus repaired it and worked with Jonathan to get it configured and back up and running. So it's back up and running, thank goodness. We've had to replace some pretty old printers that we've had in the building. I can't get the cartridges for them any longer. And
The
I'm
ribbons, you can't
also-
get the ribbons for them?
yeah, I'm also running into getting new cartridges for the printers and stuff, so, but we're running into shortages on parts and stuff. The last screens I purchased for the Chromebooks took almost a month, and usually I have them within a week, but they've taken longer to get in here. Mike and Jonathan both are monitoring all the software we have in place. They do that also on a daily basis. And I also purchased Chromebooks for kindergarten. They're up, they're configured, and they're using them. So I've been in the rooms, I've watched them. They're a little nervous, but they're getting there. They're getting them where they need to be. And for the last several weeks, I've been working on the master schedule collection, trying to get it done and sent to DOE. So that's been pretty much my days lately. So, any questions? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
ma'am.
you.
Ms. Radford?
I just have a couple of things to share with you. One, we had our first STEM planning meeting yesterday. So we've began work on our after-school program. We've set the dates. We're going to start March 1st and we'll continue until May 5th. We have 9 weeks of the program. When we come back in January, I'll be posting the site to go on, for teachers to go on to apply for a teaching position with STEM. So we'll take care of that in January. So we're moving along with that. Our Safe Schools site is now up and running, and our faculty and staff have been assigned 3 training modules to be completed by January 3rd, so they've been working on those. A lot of them already have them finished. Mr. Grimm mentioned we are doing some restraint and seclusion level 2 training at the elementary that will involve our SPED staff, some paras, some additional faculty members that we felt could benefit from that training. So we'll be doing that. On November 22nd, we held our SPED and gifted advisory meetings. So we've had our 2 meetings for the fall. Those have been held. And like Denise, I've been busy working on reporting, and hopefully next month I'll have some updates for you with our December 1 child count for SPED. So, any questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
At this time, do we have any signups for public comment?
Can we have somebody else?
Thank you.
Start the timer.
Sorry, I'm having a little trouble reading this. Wood? Okay. Sorry, your first name, sir?
Sorry. It's pronounced Taryn. I'm
Taryn?
sorry
Okay.
for the handwriting.
I'm there with you, don't worry.
That's why I have this typed out.
Okay.
May I start?
Go ahead, Terry.
Thank you, sir. Me and my teammates here would really like to express the urgency that we get back into this season as soon as possible. I know we just posted the job for head coach, and I only see a few people fit for this position based on knowledge of the game and emotional support to team members. So as a supporter and player for Blaine County football, I feel it is important I express not only mine but others' feelings towards this matter. The majority of us highly request we get Coach John Hayes, along with Coach Coppolo and Coach Sheets, back into this program. Never have I ever met a trio of men who truly touched our hearts. I have volunteered up at the Ministry Center because of John Hayes, and I became a more respectful and well put together person because of them. They have made an impact, and we highly request that they are brought back into Blaine County football, the Blaine County football program, and get in the weight room and start this season off the way it needs to be started. Hayes and the people he has brought into this program know how a football program should be run. He's been around some of the best coaches in Virginia we know of. He knows what it takes to win and what it takes to have a successful program. They all have been around football for years and years. I'm positive it will not take them long to get started, but it starts in the weight room and getting the off-season started first off, which I believe should have happened a while longer than it's taking us, you know. But I'm here with the team members here. If Anthony supports it, he's with us. There's several other people that would like to get the football program started as soon as possible, and we just want to put out a referral for those 3 men. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thanks,
you.
sir.
We agree, we need the program moving ahead. You know, in a lot of ways, there's been a lot of support for the program and getting fields ready, field house ready, equipment ready, getting schedules made. I mean, to get the program started up again the way it was took a lot of effort. And we really want the program to move ahead. And we agree that conditioning is critical both for success and for health. So we appreciate you coming in and talking to us. Thank you. Dreamer Hatcher?
Good evening. I want to say, per se, Sharon and Mr. Shepherd, thank you for your service. We appreciate it. I just really quick wanted to go over something this evening that has bothered me. The lack of appreciation for the 2 women who have served for the past, I believe, 7 or 8 years for our cheerleading team. They sent in their resignations a couple months ago. They've not even been acknowledged. Melanie Saylor and Amanda Gates have put forth countless hours. They've done an amazing thing with these girls. You know, cheerleading is not easy. Some don't even see it as a sport. Mr. Mead knows it is a sport. He has seen what happens. And I just think it is a shame that the board or no one could step up and thank them for the time that they've served. And their letter of resignation, I believe, came in 2 months ago. So I want to take this opportunity to thank those women for the women. Well, I see you shaking your heads, but I know that the emails were sent. They were sent by email.
They were sent to the board?
Yes.
Don't recall seeing that.
I don't remember.
I didn't
seeing it.
get one.
I'm sorry to
Well,
refute what you're saying, but
well, they were sent to the, whether, you know,
But
you
the whole
got it
board
or
says they
not.
didn't receive it, then
But both the women did send forth their resignation 2 months ago.
to where?
You would have to ask them.
Well,
but
you
I
just
believe
told
it
us
went
that they sent them to the
It
board.
was sent to the board.
We
That's all
didn't,
know.
I didn't receive one.
Okay. Well, I wanted to take this opportunity to thank them, and since you didn't know, maybe give you the opportunity to thank them too, because it's, you know, they spent a lot of hours, a lot of time. They've driven those girls places, they've taught them, they have fed them, they have put the uniforms on their back when parents couldn't afford it. They have paid for some of the girls that couldn't afford to eat, and they have done a phenomenal job. And we hate to see them go. We just pray that we're fortunate enough that the next ones who step up can do at least half the job that these 2 women have. So, thank you.
Mr. Mead, did you see, Tyler, did either of y'all see anything on the email?
My email, but, I mean, I can't recall offhand, but I'll check.
If you can have them, Dream, if you could talk to them and ask them where they sent it to and get a copy, please.
Yeah, invite him to invite him to-
yeah, absolutely.
Okay, Angela Hayes?
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I had not planned to speak this evening. However, I was asked to come by these young men sitting behind me to show them the support that I feel like I myself have given them, along with my husband, John Hayes. I know there's a lot of speculation and rumors and he said, she said things about what happened last season. But as well as you all know, being prominent members of the community and being on the school board, you know that there's always 2 sides to every story. And that some people can believe what they want. I know my husband, I know where his heart is, and I know how much he loves every one of these kids, every one of them. And all he wants is to help build a program in this county. And I hate the way things happen, and I'm here to apologize for it, even though it wasn't my doing. I'm here to apologize for the way things happened with the football program last year. And I just pray that, you know, God's will is going to be done with this program no matter what. And I pray that whoever is chosen for this program will care about these boys and support these young gentlemen as much as my husband does. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Mead?
Yeah.
Fortunately.
Okay.
We can put you on there if you're not.
Yeah, well, always not a loss for words, that's for sure. First of all, I'd like to congratulate the band, because we did it again, right? Yeah, okay, so I got some notices here from Jared on some of the awards that was given, and he wanted me to talk about the Winter Guard auditions. Congratulations to our students who auditioned and made the Bland with CIPA Indoor Winter Guard. Our students auditioned against students from Fort Chiswell, Rural Retreat, Bland County High School. Congratulations to Kayla Tate, Zachary Blevins, and Kayla Wright for making this select group, and to Kayla Wright for making the highly sought-after top competitive Winter Guard captain spot. It's pretty impressive. Also, congratulations to the band students who auditioned for this year's District 7 All-District Honor Band. Our students individually competed against hundreds of top student musicians from Southwest Virginia. They did a terrific job representing both our county, school, and band. A special congratulations to Morgan Williams and Duncan Moorhead for making the prestigious top all-district senior symphonic band on clarinet and trombone. Eden Collins and Abigail Weber for making all-district senior concert band on clarinet. And to Madison Stultz for making fifth chair flute in the junior all-district concert band. Great job for the Pride of Bland County Band. Pretty impressive. Our field house project is coming along real well. I showed some of the players and some parents some pictures of how Mr. French's crew has got down there and replumbed the entire field house. They're 3/4 finished with the finishing the sheetrock, right? Thank you. And they're 1/4 finished of putting the mud up on the rest of it. So they'll have that done, and he's hoping by this time we meet next time we'll have it completely finished.
And that's something I think we need to put a stipulation on the coaches going forward for any of the coaches that are using these field houses and the weight rooms, because you and I have been, I've lifted weights down there in the weight room there at the bottom, and I've seen how it's been treated and how it's been taken care of, and it wasn't. So I think it's something we need to start putting back on the coaches to make sure these rooms are taken care of. We're going to put money, and we've had, they've put in the effort to take care of the stuff. We want it to be the coaches and make sure the kids are taken care of.
Well, they washed all the jerseys and Pat and everything that was down there and fixed racks for them to hang on, racks to hang the helmets on. That's something we've not had. The couch is missing. I'm sorry, guys.
Okay.
It got ruined, so we had to move the couch out.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's everything
It had
else
too
is
many
looking
things
pretty good.
living in it.
Too many things living in it, yeah.
After West Virginia made the ball game, I burned it.
Burn
actually.
it.
Yeah.
We got a federal, we just went through, I've been really busy, and Kelly's been busy, but we went through a federal cafeteria audit. And we came out on really good terms with the federal people that were here. They had a few technical citations that we had to change, a few little things in our wellness policy that had to be changed. But other than that, Kelly was very nervous about it, but she did a real good job, and we did okay. Not okay, we did good. So I was very proud of the little system. I will tell you this, that Sabrina was one of them, and Karen was the other. And Sabrina said that when she goes to these other systems, small systems, and they say that they can't do it because they're so small, she'll use us as an example. And I thought that was as good a compliment as you could get.
Yep.
So, we are providing breakfast to the elementary tomorrow, and then to the high school on Friday. Please make sure our bus drivers know that. We'll make sure they get a breakfast as well.
Okay.
We have two exiting board members
Are they doing
that's
it
leaving
Thursday
us.
and Friday?
They've been
It's
very-
not tomorrow, is it Thursday and Friday?
Thursday and Friday. Did I
Today's
say
Tuesday.
tomorrow?
Today's
Yeah.
Tuesday.
I'm sorry, Thursday and Friday.
In West Virginia,
Well, I mean, I sit on pins and needles because my daughter could have a baby right now.
Grandpa, oh, you got grandpa
She's that
brain.
All
close.
right.
You got grandpa brain.
She's due Thursday, right?
Yeah, so she's due Thursday, but she's ready. So, but thank you all for the time you served here. Mr. Shepard has always told me that, well, leave things better than what you found them. And Jerry's been a board chairman here with us for 4 years, I think, out of the 6 I've been here. And if I would go down the list and remind folks of the things that we've accomplished in those 6 years, it's mind-boggling.
Yep.
And everything from the academic side, the facility side, we have done and made huge strides.
And then everything in COVID, I mean, that changed
Going
the,
through COVID and all the other mandates that the state has thrown down our throats, I commend you. Sharon, we're going to miss you. We'll miss what you bring to the table, your love for this county and love for our students and
food
teachers.
during the meetings, which you didn't provide
That's
this
all.
time.
I had a doctor's appointment today, so I didn't have time.
We didn't get any
Mr.
food.
Shepard's, he's been a
I got
CEO of
something.
a company, an author.
He gave me some food there.
Yeah,
He's been a working school board member.
I got a can of it.
right.
And, but anyway, I'll miss you guys, and I'm probably not far behind you, but I will miss you. And then a Merry Christmas to everyone. Thank you all. Have a Merry Christmas. Enjoy your families. Enjoy your holidays off. We do need to figure out a new Region 7 virtual school board member rep. And we need to do that. Jerry was on it. He'll be leaving, so we need to come up with a new virtual. And all that is they have, quarterly meetings, Jerry? We have quarterly meetings where they bring people up to date on what's going on virtually throughout the state. So we'll need to do that. Again, I congratulate Ms. Tyndall in the cross country. Finishing 20th is really good. So also our middle school basketball program, I got to watch a game with boys and girls, and we've got a real good future. We got a good girls team and a really good boys team. And now that's varsity, I'll try to make to see a JV varsity. In fact, I told Curly if everything goes okay, I'll be there on the 28th to do your quad, okay? All right. Only other thing I have to do is I humbly have to say that the rocket launch was not very good. I fixed a nice rocket.
If anybody would like a demonstration, here,
Miss
here's
Park-
Mr. Meads, and went,
And it came up a little bit and
I
ran
know,
over
it
there.
oh, wait a minute.
It's been called, yeah, well, it's called, I've been called a few nicknames, but I guess the worst thing I did, I put the New York Jets logo on it, and so
That was
everybody
where you
knows
went
what
wrong.
happens. It's hard to be a Jets fan.
Mine was black and gold, and it done very well.
But anyway, what I did offer that group was an enormous amount of laughter that day.
Yeah, we had a good time.
And, I built it up. I took my rocket down in a little case, and I carried it in, and I had white gloves that I put on to not smudge it. And then we put it on the launch pad, and it went right down. And it just, smoke was everywhere, so.
We're going to have another one.
I've been called CB, which stands for crash and burn, or fizzle. Fizzle was another one. Anyway, a thank you to the Coles,
Yep.
Ruth Ann and her husband. They do a phenomenal job for us. And also, Miss Sexton and Miss Trail were there, and they do a wonderful job. We had, what would you say, a dozen kids maybe? Was that many, or
Almost. Yeah.
8 or so? And then you had Tyler, myself, and Miss Parker. I think they all had rockets, but I guess with my fizzle job, I won't be able to run for president of the Rocket Club now, but I will. There will be another launch. She assured me this spring there's going to be another launch. So I'm gonna soup up my rocket.
So now, the Rocket Boys, where were they from?
Colwood.
What county is that?
That's in McDowell.
So where are you from?
He's not related to this.
It don't run in his blood.
I was over on, I came from the other side of the mountain.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you weren't in the movie or
I wasn't in the
nothing.
movie. Those people were a lot older than I am. I do know a couple of them. Willie, I know Willie Rose, but, all right, thank you. That's all I have, sir.
Okay. It's hard to follow up.
Yeah,
Right,
Student representative, you guys can get us back on track
yes,
here.
that's
exactly.
right.
With the band. This past weekend, we went, 9 of us went to the John Battle High School and auditioned for the all-district honor bands. About half of us got in, which is really impressive. And then the rest of us made alternates. So if, let's say, like a school goes on quarantine and is unable to go to the concert, if it's enough students, one of us will be bumped up into that concert level. So there could be more of us going. We're not really sure. It's not really known until closer to the concert. So really impressed with Duncan Moorhead and Morgan Williams for making symphonic bands, which are higher bands. Like they did really good, along with Eden Collins, Abigail Weber, and Maddie Stoltz. So yeah, we're really proud of them. Another honor band that's taking place is the Virginia Tech University Honor Band. What it is students are chosen by Virginia Tech University based on director recommendations and total instrumentation, so that instruments across all 4 bands would be balanced. These following students have been accepted: Morgan Williams, grade 12 clarinet; Abigail Weber, grade 12 clarinet; Luke Swetnam, grade 12 tuba; Duncan Moorhead, grade 11 trombone; Zachary Brewster, grade 12 bass clarinet; and Zachary Blevins, grade 12 trumpet. Virginia Tech Honor Bands is not just for a certain district, it's 8 states come to this. And so it's really impressive that we got that many in because, let's see, I think it was 2 years ago whenever we went last. 3 were accepted, only 2 could go. So, I mean, now we have 5, I think. So, really excited for them to go. And the concert has been moved from this Thursday to January 13th. So that'll also be exciting. I think it'll give us more time to perfect the music. And then the prom theme was chosen by the juniors. It was between the Golden Age of Hollywood and an Enchanted Forest theme, and we went with Enchanted Forest. So we're all pretty excited about it. And then MAC practices have been starting up. I'm captain of the Social Studies MAC team. And we have a lot of kids. Only 2 old ones, myself and another one. And then the rest of them are new members, which I'm really excited about, so we can help continue MAC going. So I think our first match is the first week that we get back at school. It's that Thursday, and I believe we're going to Carroll County. So excited to be going back in person because last year's virtual was a mess. We got it done. We got the season done. Was not too excited with it, so we're happy to be getting back into the swing of things. So, and that is all I have. So I'll give it to Anthony.
Oh boy, a little nervous, but a little miscellaneous stuff that I have. This week is a week for kids also excited and nervous for exams and to finally, get a Christmas break or a Hanukkah break, either or. And another thing I would just like to speak briefly about, the gentleman that sat behind me, my brothers, they do have a point on the weightlifting. Ever since weightlifting has stopped and we don't have a guidance over who can lift with us or who can guide us in what to do in the weight room, there's been some moods that have changed. It's not much of a lively, jumpity mood that I'm used to. I do miss being in the weight room. I do miss having a football coach. At this point, I don't really care who's the coach. I just want to be back in the weight room with my brothers. It can be John Hayes. It could be whoever. It's whatever my brothers decide, and I'll go with them. And just having a weight room back again and having the off-season start off how it should, I would greatly appreciate that more than anything, along with the people who sit behind me and furthermore. And I have a couple things. Miss Johnson, the 4-H person. I call her the 4-H person because I can't word it anywhere else. She's eagerly waiting to come back in the school and do the 4-H program. A week ago, she was waiting in the cafeteria, having all types of students. Every student that she could see, find, or hear signed a paper to join the 4-H program, which should be growing out of a massive amount. And I am a part of a play, Bears for Christ, otherwise known as FCA. We decided to change our name. We have a play on December 18th at 6 p.m., and I'll be starring in that play along with some other students, so I'm really looking forward to that. And the last time we talked about a storage building. And the coaches at the time, our round bastion, they all loved the idea. And I cut it up into several phases. Phase 1, I asked the coaches what they thought. They thought that was amazing. That's all I needed. And I have a suggestion for the building that we call it the Hope Building. And my reason behind that is because sports will give you a hope and take you away from a stress personal or a stress school life. It can give you hope on a better future, to be a better person, to be a better man or woman, just to be a better person in general. And that's why I would like to call it the Hope Building. Furthermore, phase 2, which are questions that I have come up with. Financing the building, I don't know if we have a budget down for the building, but if we can come up with the financing for the building, where all sports put in a fundraiser or a sell off, I have no idea, but we need to finance this building. Location, we need to find a location around this area, in the Bastion area, over there, over yonder, somewhere near that we can store this building. Furthermore, we need the materials and the dimensions of the building, how long or how big, just how wide it will be, and that will determine how many materials we need. If it's going to be made out of brick, wood, stone, we need to know this. Along with sectioning, I have recently found out some news from other coaches that there have been materials, sports materials, over the past years that have been thrown away due to miscommunication or other reasons that I don't know. So I was thinking to save us money for the building, that we have gates sectioning off what sport has, where they can put their stuff. For example, soccer can have a gate specifically for soccer, and the head coach or the coaches can have a specific key for that specific gate. And then on the other side, it can be football, and that coach can have that specific key for that specific gate. Of course, we'll have to have 2 or several for not only the building, but for the specific gates. And also, another thing that I would like to add on to the building is that it cannot be open to the building for vandalism reasons and money loss reasons. And that's all I have. Any questions?
No, we appreciate you running with that. If you can get some idea of size, concept, and how many segments you need in it and that, I think that can be accomplished. It'll save a lot of money and make things a lot easier to be organized.
Definitely. All right, thank you.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you.
Thank y'all. Thank you, ma'am and sir.
Like the idea of the Hope Building.
Good job.
I know we're not supposed to comment on public comment, but I did just check my email. I did have a resignation from those 2 ladies, and I missed that.
What was the date on that,
10/28.
Was it sent just to you, or?
I'm sorry, I didn't look at that.
We'll get them at the next meeting.
Okay.
I'll invite them.
But I'll take care of that personally. It's not how I do business.
Right.
I apologize.
Yeah, we respect the effort that was put forth.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Hey, Philip?
Well, you know, we've got a lot of things to celebrate, and obviously this is a season of celebration, and I just want to encourage everybody, take time for yourself, take care of yourself. But I thought I'd share a scripture with you tonight, and just something to think about. Psalm 127, verses 3 through 5 says, "Children are a heritage from the Lord, and offspring a reward from Him. And like arrows in the hands of a warrior are children born in one's youth. And blessed is the man whose quiver is full of them, and they will not be put to shame when they contend with their opponents in court." In Blaine County, in part of the school system, we are building arrows to send out. And I'll just share with you, I know we've got a lot of things that a lot of people would say we need to work on, but we're doing great things in Blaine County. And I just want to celebrate that in this time of celebration in this meeting. You see these young men coming out, regardless of students that have come spoke over the months, and people in the community even, that we're here to shape these kids into arrows that will be launched at some point, whether they launch down the road or in another community or another state or another country, and do great, mighty things. And, you know, if you look at us, though we're small, and though the time of our celebration is of something that came out of something small right now, it's going to do great things, and I'm proud of our kids. With that, I'd like to also just say to my two board members that's going to be leaving us, Sharon has shared the heart of a mother that has been in this school system for how many years? Forever?
Since 1976.
Since 1976. And, you know, we appreciate her. She has been really that mother figure on the board to share thoughts and ideas about concepts. And though sometimes she was quiet, she still had feelings about things. And I appreciate her. What can you say about Jerry Sheppers? He's the man. Hang on, I'll let you speak in just a minute. He's the man that I lost to the first time to gain a seat on this board. And there was a lot of times over the years, Mr. Sheppers, I was thankful that I lost. And I thought to myself tonight, I wanted to tell you that if there was anybody else I could have lost to, I'm glad I lost to you, because you've done great and mighty things. And though I know a lot of other people have opinions about it, sitting where I sit right now, I see how you have guided the hands of this board and school system. And to both of you, I say thank you for your dedication and hard work, because a lot of folks don't see what it takes to be a board member. The hours that you spend away from your family or putting into this, reading documents, being a part of trainings, and having phone conversations with somebody. And with that, I say thank you and appreciation to you all.
Thank you.
Thank you. Sharon, your last shot.
It's the last shot.
This is it.
Here it is.
What if I say no comment? No.
That's all right too.
It's been my honor to be a part of this, and I can't do this without crying. And I really appreciate everybody that helped me. I appreciate all the students. I appreciate the teachers. Mr. Grimm, I really appreciate you and Tyler and all that you all do. I mean, I could never do anything, but I've been here, like I said, since 1976. And you guys are my family. And I love every one of you. And I appreciate all you do. You too, Mr. Sheppers. No, we had comments yesterday. No, that was fun. He was talking about. But it's really been, it's been an experience, and it was on my bucket list to be on the school board, and I've done it. And now I want to be back with the kids, because I couldn't be a sub or anything while I was on the school board. And that's where my heart is. So I appreciate everybody. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. I think I said everything on my part last time, so I won't get too sentimental, but Sharon, known you for many, many years, and coming to the office to you back in the day, so I appreciate, and again, Philip said it great, just the mother part of it, and you got, the kids and the teachers don't understand how much she cares for the schools. I mean, she really does. She puts her heart into it. She doesn't talk a whole lot during the board meetings. You don't hear her a whole lot, but everything she does is with her emotions and with her heart, and it's always about the kids and the teachers. It's always about that first and foremost. And Mr. Severs, said it last time. Had a lot of people trying to turn me against you before I even got on the board, but I'm thankful to be able to sit on the board with you and all that you've done, and I appreciate all your efforts. And it's going to be hard to replace you. I don't know if you'd be called replace, but I appreciate, and hopefully you'll make yourself available if we got questions and stuff. I know you will.
Yesterday he'd be around.
Oh, well, good. But I appreciate all you done, and
Okay, go ahead.
go ahead. No, go ahead.
I just want to say thank you for that yesterday. That was really nice. It was really thoughtful.
And I'm sorry to
Meal.
miss that. I had something else I had to take care of, but sorry I missed that. But
Real nice treat.
I know I did. I'm hungry still. So, but appreciate you guys and all that you've done, and hopefully you guys, all the teachers and the kids, y'all have a great Christmas. Enjoy your break and stuff, and hopefully get through Christmas and a couple of weeks after that. I don't know how it's going to go. We can, we were planning on talking about doing away with masks eventually, but with this next one, I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. But that's on the agenda. I know nobody likes them, but we'll have to just wait and see what happens. It doesn't look real good right now. So, but anyway, appreciate all you guys have done for the board. Appreciate it.
Thank you. I've got a little summary I'll do at the end of the meeting, but as far as right now, I went to the Virginia School Board Association Annual Conference, and there were 3 things that passed there, which I'll make you aware of. One is because of the potential need of having remote board meetings, electronic roll call is approved.
Okay.
So if you should get in a situation where you have to have a remote board meeting, it's satisfactory to have electronic roll call. The other thing, and this they sent to the state, they don't have the right to demand this, but they want the state to pay a minimum of 55% of the cost of the school budget. And some arguments as to, in various, especially various areas, what the share of the local should be compared to the state, and they said 55% is the minimum.
What's ours, Rob?
60,
I think that's about it, yeah.
about 60-40.
And the other thing is, it's possible, if the local area desires, to have a 1% sales tax to support the schools. They can add a 1% sales tax. So those were things that were voted on at this meeting. As far as key topics, and these would be things that they see coming down the path, universal pre-K is probably going to happen. Now, probably not this year, but it is going, they believe it is going to happen. So what that means is that the school systems will be tasked with taking care of probably any child 3 and older. So that means from a facility standpoint, somehow facilities would have to be built. And of course, on children that age, it's usually about 1 teacher per 10 children. And you've got to have special facilities for their size and age. So that's something that hopefully when they mandate that, there will be some money come with it.
Yeah, please.
We hope.
Just to let you know, Withville has already looked at that and has gone around to various people in the county that have pre-K and is working to partner with some of them and set up essentially learning expectations and curriculum. So you might think about that. We might think about that in Bland County if we have somebody that, I know we have the one right down the road
We kind
here.
of already do that, do we not, Mr. Radford?
I had a meeting, this is September, October, with Steps of Faith, with some of our kindergarten and house teachers at the elementary, and we met and discussed curriculum and did some things like that with them.
That's super. The other thing is they had a list of what people saw at this point in the pandemic and with remote learning and all the changes that have taken place, where we're at. And of course, if it had been a year ago or so, remote learning probably would have been, structuring remote learning would have been the leading topic. But people have actually moved amazingly fast on remote learning. And the skills and the technology and everything. So the item that came up this time as the most important item was defined as modernizing learning environments. In other words, the old idea of a classroom and 20 students sitting there with a teacher in front of them, that's not how they see us teaching in the future. It's supervised areas, but with students a lot of times doing remote classes and having support when needed it. And they felt that the concept of what a school looks like is going to have to change, especially in the upper grades. So that was what was picked as the top topic that a lot, there's been a lot of discussion as far as possible money to upgrade schools, replace schools. The question is, if you're going to build something now, what do you build?
What do you build?
You don't build what you built even 3 years ago. So that was, it was a interesting conference, and always enjoy the people there. Okay, with that, we'll move to the action agenda. And we'll try and go through this quickly. Any questions on any of the payments?
As far as the payment for JDM, we discussed that we would approve those things, but from what, we wouldn't approve them without discussing them. And from what I'm hearing from the principals about the custodial work, a lot of it's not being done, and we talked about deducting from the check, and I don't have a problem if we need to figure out what we need to deduct from the check from work that was not done. Now, I don't know where we're at on that, but if we're paying for work and the work is not getting done, I don't want to pay for it. I'll just tell you like that. I just do not want to pay for it. I don't think we should. Don't think we should be held accountable.
If we don't work, we don't get paid,
Yep.
right?
You still having fairly constant discussions with them?
Email-wise, yes, not personal phone calls.
But I just heard both principals, and from what they said, the night custodial jobs are really not
Tyler
getting done.
sent an email to him, I think today, about the Mountain Home Center not being cleaned over a month. I can sit down with Cindy tomorrow, we can look at what we think
I mean, a
proper deduction
percentage or
would be
something.
for custodial work.
I was out there today with Tyler, and I appreciate him giving me the moment of his time, but he sent me the work order that he had put in back in September for a particular job, and I won't name it just so that people know, but in essence, it's a small job that I think for their maintenance contract, it should have been completed a long time ago, and I hate to bring it to attention, but I think this is something other that we need to bring to the forefront now, and it now needs to be addressed.
Mr. Grimm, at the elementary school, has the door been replaced? Have the boarded up windows been replaced?
The third-party contractor came in and measured, they have not been back. Still waiting on the propane tanks to be taken out.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve all the payments except for the JDM, so if we hold the check, then maybe to get some.
Can I make an amendment to that
Yeah.
motion? Let's pay him half. Pay him half, and then once these other jobs are completed, then we'll pay him the other half. And I mean, these are small jobs, replacing a door, doing a job that we looked at today. These are small jobs. There's no reason why this should not be taken care of.
Well, I see the custodial being a bigger problem.
Yeah.
We're not getting anything clean.
That's
And I mean, I see that as
yeah, that's my key is I don't pay them at all because we're not satisfied with the custodial until something's done there. So I don't even want to pay them anything. Because it's not like it's a new problem, it's not like we haven't discussed it, it's not like we haven't been discussing it for months.
Year and a half.
And, if you just keep doing the same old thing, you're gonna get the same old thing, and I think we change the game now. I figure that we're in breach of contract, and that's my thought, but I'll go with what you guys think, so.
Our kids deserve to have a clean school. And like you said, like they said, the guys during the day don't need to work double
On the
time.
table, I've got a motion on the table to approve all payments except for JDMs.
I made an amendment to, amendment motion
Right.
in order to, just approve, all of them except for half. So, is there a second, I guess,
We need to do the first motion first.
Start
Yeah,
We're
with-
gonna
there's
get
a
a
second
second
to
to it, or, and if it is not gonna move forward, then we need to do a
Right,
new
yeah.
motion.
okay.
So I made the motion, if there's anybody who wants to second it, not, then we'll go to the second motion.
I'll second it.
Mr. Bailey?
4?
Ms. Puckett?
Or,
Mr. Buttrey?
4.
Mr. Shepherd?
Okay, O&M projects, how's the heating, cooling in the elementary school?
Much improved. There were some sporadic issues throughout it because of the age of the building in certain areas and having to do with insulation. For the most part, I think it's positive. We still have some cold, drafty areas, specifically in classrooms, not just hallways. And I'm working with teachers to get those addressed.
Okay,
I think some of the frustration comes with the thermostats, the way they're set up from the manufacturer, not from the contractor or.
so they're programmable, I mean, we can,
they program
Programmable
that?
up to 72 degrees and then as cool as 68, and there is no margin above or below those.
we can change that. I know how.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, he's
better
gonna
be
string
there
us along
tomorrow.
now, I can see how this is.
It's gonna be
I
like
can come up
whack-a-mole.
there.
It comes with somewhere else.
Well, we can change that. What about hallways? How are the hallways?
Most of the heaters are near the doorway areas. Those where the heaters are faced horizontally and blow down the hall are phenomenal. Areas where their ceilings are lower and they push straight down, the air does not move. And so you have one area right inside the door that stays very warm, and then it warms up and the thermostat shuts off and the rest of the hallway is very cold.
Okay.
And then we have the one area where the door needs to be replaced with that breezeway area between the courtyard and the exterior door, which is our ice box right now.
If you could kind of make a bullet list of what needs to be done, because now's the time to do it. I mean, this
We know where it is and we've got time to get it
right.
addressed.
I mean, this is the first winter that we're going through, or cold weather we're going through, so we know there's gonna be some tuning, but.
They did accomplish the office area that was taken care of for Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I told them, put that at the bottom of the list.
And it was.
It's always the offices.
Started taking care of some things on some other buildings as well too.
Right, they're
I didn't have heat
installing
for years in the office.
the units in the lower level
That's
of
okay,
the
kids are more important.
early childhood buildings.
Extend some of that instructional space.
Because they had me up there today answering questions. Okay. Okay, as far as the COVID plan, I mean, we've got a whole new variety coming on now. We've got
got the Omicron
we've got
variants,
teachers.
we've got 2 teams quarantined, we have a teacher out. I don't see how we can go back to phase 2 when we have more cases coming. I think we should wait to at least after Christmas and get into January and then reevaluate it in January. I do think, from talking to in our Zoom meetings from the state superintendent's office, there are going to be some new regulations sent down in January about this too with masks. So we'll see what that is. I don't know what it's going to be, but you have a new governor coming in and we'll see what happens. So right now, I'm not in favor of moving into phase 2.
Okay, so we'll table that if everybody's in agreement.
Yeah, that's fine.
Fine.
Okay, the cafeteria debt policy, there's been some rewording from House Bill number 50 and Senate Bill 840 that was sent out, basically saying if a child cannot pay, you cannot force them to do chores or other work to pay for such meals.
I thought they'd been that way forever.
If I could have a motion to approve that.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Mr. Bailey?
4.
Ms. Puckett?
4.
Mr. Petrie?
4.
Mr. Shepherd?
Next item is VSBA JHCD, which is use of undesignated stock
Albuterol.
albuterol?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. In schools for respiratory distress.
That's an inhaler, basically.
Right.
Steroid.
Basically saying that children that have a prescription from the doctor are allowed to have these devices with them, and they will be managed by our nurses. Anybody have any question on that?
It's just gonna be a first reading.
Becomes law January 1st.
Well, that's what it's always been, though, hasn't it?
Albuterol has not been a part of the
Oh,
language.
okay,
It
all
was-
right. But that, most other medicines and stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
So we need a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Mr. Bailey?
4.
Ms. Puckett?
4.
Mr. Petrie?
4.
Mr. Shepherd?
We need to set a date and time for the organizational meeting after the first of the year.
What do you think, Philip? Nobody else?
That's right.
Don't we usually do that
We won't be here.
prior to the
Usually do it
regular
right
school
before
board
the-
meeting?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
have to, yeah.
You want to keep the school board meeting on the same day of the month?
Are you still good?
Yeah, I'm fine with that if everybody else is. Mr. Andrews, are you good second Tuesday?
Yep. So we'll do 4 o'clock organizational
Now,
meeting?
should we have to do our organizational meeting earlier that month? Is there some reason why? I can't remember.
We usually do it right before the meeting,
Right
that way we're
before.
not coming.
No, I mean, but earlier in the month. Was there a reason?
None that I recall.
I think it was something of the county, something to do with the county. Can't remember. Second Tuesday's fine with me.
Yeah, I'm fine.
We just do
January
it.
11th?
Yeah, you want to do 4 o'clock? Is that okay? Or the organizational meeting's very short.
Yeah,
It's
won't
usually
we
at
just start it
4:30?
at 5 o'clock and then the regular meeting to go thereafter? Is that okay?
Yeah, well, we usually do, at 5 o'clock, we usually do closed session. so-
I'm just saying, we'll just push everything back,
Okay.
maybe an hour.
No, we don't need an hour.
No,
It don't take 10 minutes.
10 minutes. to do it.
doesn't last long.
Yeah.
Let's just do it just at 5 o'clock and then we'll pick up the
That'd be good.
regular meeting at 5:15.
Yeah, that's fine.
Is that
Because
okay?
we might have a long closed session just because we have 2 people to
Yeah,
bring on board.
Yeah.
Let's do 5:45.
5:45.
Not 5, I mean 4:45.
4:45.
And that way we'll have at least an hour for the closed session.
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah.
I'm good with that, but if you.
4:45 is okay with me. Mr. Andrews?
I need a motion on that?
So I'll make a motion to have the regular board meeting the second Tuesday of January, the organizational meeting at 4:45, with the meeting starting at 5, the regular meeting at 5, closed session being at 5 to 6, and then the meeting starting at 6.
Second?
Mr. Bailey?
4.
Mr. Petrie?
4.
Ms. Puckett?
4.
Mr. Shepherd?
Or
Hey, Lenore, remind me about that.
need approval of the pay scale for administrative assistant and facility manager.
Make a motion to approve salary scale for central office administrative assistant and facilities manager.
1 second.
I'll second it.
Mr. Petrie?
4.
Ms. Puckett?
4.
Mr. Bailey?
4.
Mr. Shepherd?
Or
Can I apply?
personnel recommendations, Scott?
Too late.
I recommend that the
I
administrative assistant
didn't make-
position
I
go
didn't
to
make
the
this
employee A.
when I retired.
That wasn't my fault.
Need a
No, it wasn't.
motion on that?
Make a motion
Sorry.
to approve employee A for administrative assistant.
I'll second that.
Mr. Petrie?
4.
Mr. Bailey?
4.
Ms. Puckett?
4.
Mr. Shepherd?
Or
Also, I'd like to make a recommendation that we accept employee B for the facilities manager with the concerns of another part of his resume we need to ask about. And if not, we'll go to employee A. Does that sound correct?
I'll make a recommendation. Or I'll make the motion for the recommendation, sorry.
Second.
4.
4.
4.
Can we have a sick leave donation request?
Yes, I make a recommendation, we allow this young lady to receive sick leave donation. She's out of sick leave, she's been out quarantined on COVID and some other things.
Make a motion to approve sick leave donation request.
I'll second.
4.
4.
Mr. Bailey, Mr. Shepherd.
4. You want to make a motion to get out of here, be the last thing you do?
I like to-
Okay,
Oh, can't you?
I'd like to
Oh,
do a little summary of the school board over the last number of years, and also hopefully prepare the ground for the upcoming board. If you don't mind, I'm going to take this off while I do this.
Yeah.
I'm going to go back even older than me, so in 1869, 4 years after the end of the...
right after Mr. Mead was
A little bit
born.
older.
Mr. Mead was a pope.
That's about my years.
But no, in 1869, 4 years after the Civil War, the end of the Civil War, the Virginia legislature voted to provide free public education. And that was really the beginning of the school boards. So, you know, a lot of times we look at our times and say, man, we had it rough. But if you look kind of what's happened since then, the first group had to establish schools, they had to hire teachers, they had to make a curriculum. Then, you know, there was a time during World War I, there was the Spanish flu epidemic that the school boards had to deal with. There was World War II. There was the polio epidemic, which especially in this area, Wytheville was one of the hardest hit areas in the country. There was 2 years where Wytheville was barricaded and wouldn't let anybody stop because the polio epidemic was so bad.
Anybody out of town was not allowed to stop.
Right. You know, of course, then things is Vietnam, and then now we've had COVID. So we had our challenges, but we're not the only one that had challenges. And I think the thing about being on this board, we really have to look at it as a journey, not a destination. We aren't here to finish things off. We're here to move down the path and hopefully have a vision that keeps things moving in the right direction. And as Scott says, I repeat, you know, to leave it better when we leave than when we came. So kind of want to look back and say, so as a team, and this is a team thing, none of us can accomplish anything by ourselves. It's a true team. How have we done? Well, when I joined the board, the school system was running in red figures. The budget on the year I came on was to spend $501,000 more than what was coming in. That was the budget. And the school system hadn't met a budget in the prior 3 years. So it was in red ink, and people wonder why consolidation all of a sudden, you know, was talked about for years, then all of a sudden it happened. Well, the reason it happened was the school system was going bankrupt. And the only salvation was either to cut costs or raise taxes. And so if you think back of the consolidation, and some of you were in, what grade were you in? Fourth grade, second grade, okay. It was a crash course. It was, the budget was made to have, you know, schools operating K through 12. And then basically 3 months before school was to open, the schools were consolidated, which meant moving all the classrooms, changing all the teachers, you know, the whole schedule. So it was a truly crash course. And was to a large extent unplanned until it actually happened. And so what came out of that? Was it a success or was it not a success? Well, actually, it was a tremendous success. We ended that year in the black instead of having a $500,000 loss. And something that I talk about, and Lenora and I have a running joke on this, but Bland County is a very small county with a very few number of people. Bland County has about 6,200 people. When I went to Purdue in college. When I went to Purdue, my dormitory freshman year had 6,500 people, just my dormitory. So, 6,200 people is a very small amount of people. And we have to pull together. We don't want to be fighting each other. And there was a mentality in the county, and that it was very driven by the regions and the communities, the local communities. And those that remember, and Laura was part of this, those that remember consolidation the first year, we had at least a fight a week in the high school. And it was settling out, well, you're from Rocky Gap, you're from Bland, and this and that. So that was and now those issues are over.
I think it's amazing we're on the cusp of having kids that didn't know anything but consolidation. That's incredible. Because my daughter actually was one of the first graduating classes. She was in that first, and Laura's two girls were as well.
So like I said, we go back a little bit to the finances, and people say, well, why do you talk about finances in the school system? That's not, but you can't do anything without money. And one of the things that's done, and if you look at the reports which are available online to people, we get funding right now from 40 different sources. We used to not get money from 40 different sources. The organization went out and said, okay, if we do this, we can get this money. If we do that, we can get that money. Now, it comes with requirements, because you don't get the money unless you participate in what they want you to participate in. So that means there's additional effort, additional reports, additional requirements. But if you do it right, and this organization does it right, you can bring in a whole lot of money. The whole reason that we're not operating on a coal boiler in elementary school, and each classroom has a thermostat, and has air makeup and air purification and humidity control, is because we went out after money in the COVID thing. When we thought these things were going to happen, we actually had bids in place, and on some of the money, a week after we got the money, we placed the orders, because we had to do this project during summer break. And if we said, well, wait till we get the money, and then we'll go out for quotes, and then we'll go out, we'd have never got it done. So, again, it's the organization working together, moving forward. With Bland Foundation in Wytheville gives this community, Bland and Wythe County, $2.5 million a year. Bland schools get about 5 times as much as Wythe County schools. And it's because of people like Laura, who have done a great job putting together programs like STEM, going after the money, and then accomplishing what she said we were going to do with the program. So it's, Bland County in that is used as an example. One of the other things we did is Bland County did not have a nonprofit associated with the schools. Well, there's lots of organizations that say, I'd like to give money to education, but they don't want to give money to a government agency, because a government agency is supposed to be funded by taxes. So they look at it that if I give you money, all I'm doing is letting you reduce the tax rate on everybody. And the other thing about a school budget is a school has to operate in an annual budget. So we put together a budget. At the end of the year, we say, how'd we come out? Well, actually, it's illegal to run in debt, although Bland did it for a number of years. But any money that's left at the end of the year has to be given back. So if I'm donating to a school system and I say, I'd like to have this program to go on for the next 10 years, but the school system can only honestly say, I can only do it for a year, because I cannot commit beyond my budget. So Quill, which is a nonprofit, was put together and now brings in several $100,000 a year. Teachers can put in for various projects. There's trips out of it. I don't know, Laura, you can probably expand more what comes out of it than I can, but.
What about teachers, if they have any kind of special project, Ms. Blessing just had one approved. She takes the 6th graders to Billboard every year, and it goes along with their, and some of you guys have done that, haven't you? It's awesome. Various projects at the high school, we've had guest speakers, we've had Miss Solene and the art, they did a basket weaving class, just all kinds.
Well, even the rocket thing that was joked about so much was paid for by that, wasn't it?
The rockets were, it's the SciTech Academy, which is funded through Wishland.
Yeah, which goes through Quill.
Does some ag stuff too.
Our JAMS program.
Yeah, the JAMS program, that's a big one, it's funded heavily, the music program through Quill. And so a lot of things were done to not only reduce the spending, but bring money in. So the other thing was, you had to have a budget and you had to be able to forecast. So financial controls were put in place, forecasts were defined as to how we doing as the year goes on. Let's not wait to the end of the year and say, well, how'd it come out, type of thing. So a lot of controls were put in place. The other thing was, the wage scales were not structured. We approved wage scales in this meeting. Wage scales were, I don't even know how to describe them.
Way out of sorts.
Yeah.
It was,
Horrendous.
there were years where teachers, and a lot of this was early teachers, just starting their career. There were some years they would get like a $15 raise.
And then you get up and then you would get, you get 3 or 4 years of 8%, 10%, big raises and out of nowhere.
So, wage scales were structured, given logic. The wages paid to incoming teachers was increased dramatically to get us competitive in the area. So not only could you attract the right teachers, but you could maintain the right teachers. Transportation, buses hadn't been bought in years because there wasn't any money. We've bought quite a number of buses, plus we bought 3 vans, and things like the trailer for the band and those type of things. So all of this, like I say, comes about from financials. And then you look at the facilities. Well, we redid the baseball, softball area with handicapped access, with new bleachers, press box, the field house is being completely redone. Elementary school, we did the early childhood building, put roofs on everything over there, new heating, cooling. We improved the parking over there, electronic signs. High school, the high school parking lot, for those that you can remember, used to just be a mud hole. Teachers would carry one set of boots to get to the school and then would change out into something they'd wear during the day because of having to walk through the parking lot. Roofs have been put on over there in Building B. The restrooms, well, they were, the pipes, the sewer pipes had rusted in 2 in the restrooms, and the sewer gas in the restrooms was just terrible. And restrooms were gone, we dug down 6 feet under the concrete floor and redid pipes and brought all that back. Band room was enlarged, the walkway to the Mountain Home Center, done, electronic sign over there. But, let's get to the important part, the academics. The school systems weren't accredited. Now you look at us and our ranking in the state, we're one of the top school systems in the state. I don't remember exactly what our number was and how many out of that these got.
Number 9.
9 out of, it's like
132.
132. So to go from unaccredited to 9, is just amazing. The amount of dual credit that goes on, the amount of virtual classes, the quality of the teachers, the quality of administration. And then the other thing, it's not only the academics, the math and the physics and those kind of things, but to really end up with well-rounded individuals, you need the arts. And
we made a commitment to the arts.
our band program is just beyond belief. I just can't say enough about it. And then, the JAMS program, which starts in the elementary school with the little kids. Now, we've struggled with that through COVID because you can't get together and you can't do this thing. But even through that, some of the virtual stuff that's been done. The forensic program that we've had, and it's struggled too right now. But, we've done a whole lot of work to try and get the auditorium at the elementary school back to being an auditorium. I always felt bad. We'd take a forensics team and send them to a competition and they'd win. And nobody in Bland County saw what they did. We didn't have a stage to do it on. Well, we've got a stage to do it on now. So, so arts is extremely critical. And again, I think we've done a tremendous job. I think we provide one of the best educations in the state. The other thing is, on everything, it's easy to find something you don't like and want to go to war. And, as it's more than a joke, but I'm pretty blunt and pretty straightforward and opinionated. But I always say I don't hold a grudge. You know what I think. I'm not going to hold it against anybody, but we can only move forward if we know what needs to be fixed. Well, while I've been on here, I've served with 3 superintendents, 7 board members, and I'd like to say all of them are my friends. So we had our battles. Really? We had our battles, and we fought through things. But all in all, we respected each other, and we moved forward. And we always worked for the good of the students. So. We tried to leave our egos at home, and like I say, we've had some difficult times, but we tried to never forget why we were here. And so I kind of challenged the new board to continue this journey, continue the vision. I've all through my career, I've been a believer in having a vision. If you don't know where you're going, how do you make the little decisions? Because the little decisions get you to where you're going. And if you don't know where you're going, you're just going to wander around in the darkness. So you got to know what you're doing. You got to know what's important to you. And you got to understand that, it takes all of us. You got to let everybody do their job. It may not be the way you'd have done it, but you got to let everybody do their job because they've got strengths you don't have. You need to support them when you can. You need to focus on the critical. Don't get hung up on the petty, I'll say. Other words can be used. And again, my hope is Bland County comes together. I hope the schools continue on in the path they are. And I hope our community rivalries become a thing of the past. Not that we shouldn't be proud of our communities, but we need to work together as a team. And to me, everybody in the county that's under 25 really doesn't see these rivalries anymore. but there's a few people that still like to continue on, so we need to put that away. And but I'm extremely proud of everybody here, extremely proud of the school system. I think it's got a tremendous future. I've got grandkids in it. I look forward to them being a part of it, enjoying it. And I want to thank everybody for working with me these 2 terms.
Is that all?
Thank
That's all.
you.
That's all.
Thank you, Mr. Shepherd.
Thank you,
Thank you.
sir.
Thank you, sir.
For everything you've done
Yep.
that people don't even know about, because you've been, like Mr. Mead said, you were a working school board member, and you did lots more than I ever thought about doing, so I appreciate you too.
Thank you. So if now somebody will adjourn this thing.
Sharon, your last act.
I want to make the motion that we adjourn.
I'll second that.
All right.
You guys should let
Last
you
time,
second.
Ms.
So I can
Puckett.
go home and watch the Duke ball game.
You can second it, it's
Ms.
just not
Puckett.
recommended.
4.
Dwight,
Make motions and stuff.
Mr. Bailey,
Barr.
Mr. Buttry,
Thank you,
Mr.
everyone.
Shepherd.